Welcome to the Sunday worship with the Unitarian Universalist Society of Schenectady. I'm Reverend Lynn Gardner. She, her, or they are my pronouns, and I co minister along with Reverend Wendy Bartell. Please use Wendy's name rather than singular pronouns. And we are so delighted to welcome you to this celebration Sunday. We hope you find your people here, whether you're on Zoom or in person, or if you're watching this recording later. If you are visiting for the first time, hooray! We are so glad that you are here at UUSS. And if you're returning after a time away, hooray! We are so glad that you are here again. And if this is where you generally are on Sunday mornings, oh my gosh, hooray! We are so grateful that you are here.
Though I live across the country in San Mateo, California, I have recently spent a great deal of time at the home where I was raised as family members are negotiating the changes that come with age. The house in which I was raised is in the Ingomar neighborhood of the North Hills of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where the Shawnee and the Osage people originally lived. I am part of that land. I understand it, and it understands me. I grew up on Pine Road, where indeed there were and are tall pine trees that stand sentry, home to hawks, crows, jays, and the occasional owl. To catch the bus for school, I walked up the street to Sunset Road, where at the close of day, I could indeed watch brilliant sunsets during the gloaming, looking down on the undulating green hills that provide the topography of my own being. Cardinals, robins, blue jays, hawks, deer, squirrels, chipmunks, sticky red yew berries, apple trees, fireflies, pine, sunset, my natural companions. I am a product of this place I'm describing to you. It shaped and formed me and gave me a sense of who I am in relationship to the land and creatures, the air, and the waters around me. I am just as much a product of the Unitarian Universalist congregation in which I was raised just a mile up the road from that childhood home. On one of these family visits back, I had the experience of freshly understanding my relationship to the land. That is the bird song that I hear and recognize, I realized. These are the trees that have known me all of my life, I realized. More than a deep familiarity, though, I began to feel that the land was calling me home. And I listened. I began a long process actually of figuring out how to return to stay. And now the time approaches. So I'll be moving back to Pittsburgh to a house about a mile from where I was raised in June. The call to my home land has been strong and insistent. We are each the product of the places we have come from. And we are also intimately connected to the place in which we currently dwell. We are nourished by the air, water, foods, and beings that surround us. Where are you from? What land most deeply speaks to you? What is the landscape of your soul? The world feeds us pretty warped messages about what really matters and about our worth. Through constant advertising, we are told directly and subliminally that we don't have enough. We can't ever get enough. We could never keep enough. What if the truth were literally the opposite of these messages? I had planned this service when I learned that the author and thinker Robin Wall Kimmerer grew up in this congregation, running around and sitting on these floors, and that Robin's parents, Pat and Bob Wall, were longtime members here. So Robin Wall Kimmerer, the author, has UU roots. In a book that you may have heard of or read, which is called Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teachings of Plants, the scientist, author, mother, professor, and member of the citizen Potawatomi Nation, Robin Wall Kimmerer, writes, "In a consumer society, contentment is a radical proposition. Recognizing abundance rather than scarcity undermines an economy that thrives by creating unmet desires. Gratitude cultivates an ethic of fullness, but the economy needs emptiness. Gratitude doesn't send you out shopping to find satisfaction. It comes as a gift rather than a commodity, subverting the foundation of the whole economy. Gratitude leads to contentment. Therefore, let us practice gratitude." Kimmerer writes, "Gratitude may seem like weak tea given the desperate challenges that lie before us, but it is powerful medicine, much more than a simple thank you. Giving thanks implies recognition not only of the gift, but of the giver. Gratitude is founded on the deep knowing that our very existence relies on the gifts of other beings. Gratitude is founded on the deep knowing that our very existence relies on the gifts of other beings. Our own health, the health of the planet, and the health of our congregations and communities depends on our ability to understand that our very existence relies on the gifts of other beings. Humans are only one thread in the garment of destiny, the brilliant tapestry of life, the ecosystem. Again, Robin Wall Kimmerer says, "For much of humans' time on the planet before the Great Delusion," which I just love, "for much of humans' time on the planet before the Great Delusion, we lived in cultures that understood the covenant of reciprocity, that for the earth to stay in balance, for the gifts to continue to flow, we must give back in equal measure for what we are given. Once we pay attention, we can see the real bounty that surrounds us. We can feel the abundance blessing our lives thanks to the gifts that constantly rain down upon us without slowing or stopping. These are not material gifts, but the gifts of each moment, each breath, a sip of water when thirsty, a warm sunbeam when cold, the smile of another's eyes above a mask, the visitation of the crow on the fence post, the branches of the tree providing shade in the heat, the moss softening the path, the buds on the trees beginning to green, the arrival of the crocuses and snowdrops and daffodils, the return of blue sky days, the first sighting of a blue bird, the corn tortilla filled with warm beans and cheese, the music of the frogs singing their spring song. And where I live right now, we're beginning to smell the pungent gift of the scent of eucalyptus and jasmine on the air as we walk or roll along. Stewardship season is another blessing. It is an opportunity to move in a direction other than the consumer mindset that would have us believe that it is what we buy, collect, or hoard for the future, which defines us. This is an opportunity to practice what it is to be in a gift economy. It is to receive the blessing that has been offered within this community and to move that energy forward, to transform it like plants turn sunlight into energy. From Braiding Sweetgrass, this piece from Robin Wall Kimmerer. What should our response to the generosity of the more than human world be? In a world that gives us maple syrup, spotted salamanders, and sandhill cranes, shouldn't we at least pay attention? Paying attention is an ongoing act of reciprocity, the gift that keeps on giving, in which attention generates wonder, which generates more attention and more joy. Open and attentive, we see and feel equally the beauty and the wounds, the old growth and the clear cut, the mountain and the mine. Paying attention sharpens our ability to respond and to be responsible. We often sing, "From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live." This may be the most deeply theological piece in our hymnal. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. The fundamental nature of gifts, Kimmerer continues, is that they move, and their value increases with their passage. The more something is shared, the greater its value becomes. In a gift economy, gifts are not free. The essence of the gift is that it creates a set of relationships. The currency of a gift economy is, at its root, reciprocity. Affiliation with this congregation comes with a bundle of responsibilities, and these are sacred responsibilities because they allow us to demonstrate our interconnectedness, to practice paying attention, and to keep the energy of generosity moving. One of the poets that I turn to again and again is Rainer Maria Rilke, particularly the volume of Rilke, which was translated by Anita Barrows and Joanna Macy. And in one of those pieces, the poet, in this little snippet, is speaking to the divine as the poet understands the divine. And the poet says, "We are cradled close in your hands and then lavishly flung forth. We are cradled close in your hands and lavishly flung forth." In the backyard of my childhood home, I always take time to walk again through the backyard to where the yard borders on the thick forest. Along the edge there grows a plant so reminiscent of my childhood, the touch-me-not or jewelweed. Are you familiar? Its scientific name is Impatiens capensis, but we called them exploding pods. These little pods grow hugely plump, hidden perfectly under cover of a just exactly positioned leaf. When an animal in the forest brushes past the leaves, the pod is touched and propels its seeds shockingly far across the forest floor. As kids, we would love to sit in the midst of the plants and see who could find the fattest one, and we'd set them off for hours. The Rilke poem reminds me of the touch me not pods and how they so lavishly fling forth their seeds, ensuring new growth and new life. The existence of a strong, vibrant Unitarian Universalist congregation in Schenectady is necessary for this city. UUSS offers a fundamental lifeline for those in need of an open-hearted, open-minded, justice-oriented approach to life in this town directly adjacent to the state's capital. This place shapes lives of children, youth, teens, young adults, and elders at all stages of development, who in turn take these values out into the enrichment of the larger community by living love out loud. This congregation, this garden of the soul, has grown and cultivated ministries of all kinds: teaching, art and music, government leadership, parenting and partnership and eldering, healing, philanthropy, technology and innovation, ministry for the earth, justice making, and parish ministry. We are planted and nourished within a congregation. Here we are given the gift of being seen, truly seen, and named. Here we are cradled within the hands of the divine as we understand the divine and shaped by community, and then we are lavishly flung forth to serve. We are moved to live love out loud. As your life has been expanded through this congregation, as you have become more yourself, as you have been brought closer into touch with all that is sacred, as you have stretched and grown and evolved, as you have been inspired to change your life in small and large ways, you have received gifts. This congregation and those who came before have invested generously so that our lives might be enriched. And now we have the opportunity to keep the gift moving. When all the world is a gift in motion, how wealthy we become. May it be so. Amen.